OxyLife, invigorate your life. How important is oxygen in the modern world? Oxygen is not only life-giving, it is also a killer of harmful anaerobic infectious bacteria. Bacteria cannot survive where there are high levels of oxygen. Oxygen is also naturally selective in what it kills. Unlike drugs and antibiotics, it does not harm the aerobic or beneficial bacteria, which are essential for good health. Only oxygen can selectively kill the bad bacteria without killing the good. Oxygen provides life and energy to every living cell. Bad eating habits and poor hydration, air pollution and lack of exercise leave cells deprived of oxygen and the immune system weakened. Oxygen plays a pivotal role in the proper functioning of the immune system, i.e. resistance to disease, bacterial and viral. Dr. Paris Kidd. The importance of oxygen in its connection to cancer was summarized below by Dr. Otto Warburg, a renowned biochemist and Nobel Prize laureate. He said the prime cause of cancer is the replacement of the normal oxygen respiration of body cells by an anaerobic cell respiration. Oxygen deficiency plays an important part in cellular contamination. Oxygen is a powerful detoxifier. When its quality is deficient, toxins begin to devastate body functions and deplete the body of life-giving energy. Without oxygen, there's no nourishment. Without nourishment, neither warmth nor energy can be created and the body cannot purify itself. We can look at oxygen deficiency as the greatest single cause of all disease, a quote by Dr. Stephen Levine. An unfortunate side effect of antibiotic therapy is that it generally is not selective and kills the good bacteria as well as the bad. Dr. Paris Kidd said, "When levels of beneficial bacteria are reduced, we lose our natural balance that keeps disease-causing bacteria under control." When there is insufficient oxygen to support a healthy cell, the cell turns to another source of energy, usually sugar fermentation. This upsets cell metabolism, creating weak and unhealthy cells which have lost their natural immune system, leaving them open to invasion by viruses and pathogens. Lack of exercise or reduced mobility leads to depletion of oxygen in the bloodstream. Many of us do not possess enough oxygen in our bodies to live healthy lives. Hypoxia is the inadequate oxygenation of cells and can lead to degenerative illnesses such as circulatory problems, digestive disorders, and even cancer. The combination of a substance with oxygen is called oxidation. Oxygen is used in many processes that break down excess and toxic materials in the body. Oxidation, the key to curing cancer and degenerative diseases. The process of oxidation occurs constantly in the cells. Without this process taking place, life would cease very, very quickly. A quote by Dr. Freibot. Why aren't we getting enough oxygen? Modern-day stress depletes our oxygen reserves, resulting in oxygen deficiency. The four greatest causes of stress are toxic stress, emotional stress, physical trauma, and infections. Toxic stress results from toxic environmental chemicals and pathogens, which require extra oxygen for all detoxification processes. Emotional stress releases adrenal-related hormones, which also depletes oxygen levels. Physical trauma reduces circulation and therefore oxygen supply to the tissues and cells. Infections require extra oxygen to combat bacteria, fungi, and viruses. The frequent use of antibiotic drugs to counteract infections also depletes cellular oxygen, since it is needed to metabolize them out of the system. Common health problems caused by oxygen starvation includes an impoverished immune system, poor mental and spiritual health, aggravates chronic diseases such as heart disease, increased risk of cancer, leukemia and so on, yeast infections. Some common symptoms of oxygen starvation: aches and pain, allergies, chronic fatigue, cold hands and feet, clouded judgment, dizziness, depression, digestive disorders, poor vitality, poor stamina, poor concentration, poor memory, pale complexion, poor appetite, sluggish movements, and stomach acid. In Japan, Hong Kong and Shanghai, people pay to inhale oxygen, but inhaling pure oxygen can damage lung tissue and is therefore not advisable. In the past, it was thought we could only draw oxygen by breathing, but our researchers have now isolated a compound that can offer oxygen in the form of a liquid supplement. We call this liquid supplement OxylifeUK. What is OxylifeUK? An average glass of tap water contains between 7 and 12 parts per million of oxygen. OxylifeUK has a count of 12,000 parts per million. OxylifeUK contains 1,000 times more oxygen molecules than the same volume of tap water. How do we get more oxygen into our bodies? Can we get it from anything else but breathing? Our modern sedentary lifestyle prevents most of us from processing enough oxygen to resist disease and stay healthy. OxylifeUK can help reverse this trend. OxylifeUK is non-toxic, stabilizes electrolytes of oxygen in molecular form. OxylifeUK stabilizes oxygen in a sodium chloride solution, though the amount of sodium chloride is negligible and should pose no risk to anyone on a low sodium diet. The genius of the formula is in using the two most important and abundant electrolytes in the body, sodium and chlorine, as oxygen carriers. The molecular oxygen is released through the digestive process and absorbed into the bloodstream. It's a revolutionary breakthrough in supplements and a highly effective product containing stabilized oxygen in a highly concentrated form. It cannot be emphasized enough how important oxygen is to bodily well-being. Research has not yet found an anaerobic infection or disease bacteria that OxylifeUK does not kill. It's effective against Salmonella, E. coli, Streptococcus, Pseudomonas and Staphylococcus. Stabilized oxygen is virtually the only tasteless product that will kill these harmful bacteria without killing the body's beneficial bacteria. It removes chlorine in about 30 seconds and kills any harmful bacteria and organisms. To purify liquids, add 8 drops to a 240 milliliter glass of water, juice, milk, etc. The ideal condition of our blood cells is they should be separated from one another, round in appearance, with a light shaded area in the middle of each cell. The photograph of blood cells before using OxylifeUK shows the cells clumped and clinging together. This is an indication that the cells are unable to carry oxygen efficiently to the other cells in the body. The aggregation of the red cells is a clear indication of future health problems, as the efficient transportation of oxygen is of vital importance to health. The before picture also shows fungal forms such as candida or yeast infections. The photograph of blood cells after using OxylifeUK for 21 days shows blood cells separated, round-shaped, with a light-coloured centre. This is how healthy blood cells should look. 90% of the fungal forms and bacteria both inside and outside the cells have been nearly totally eliminated. The sticky fat aggregation, plaque and crystals, which were noticeable in the before photograph, has also been dramatically reduced after using OxylifeUK. OxylifeUK has been used by thousands of people for over 30 years now, with no contraindications or side effects. It is the answer to oxygen starvation and is specially developed for people leading sedentary lifestyles. OxylifeUK is an oxide of chloride stabilized with the richest known source of nascent oxygen with several atoms per molecule. OxylifeUK is a safe, non-toxic, stabilized liquid concentrate of electrolytes of oxygen. Electrolytes are any substances that dissolve in water and which conduct electricity. How does OxylifeUK work? OxylifeUK is alkaline in nature, unlike other oxygen products on the market. The oxygen we breathe contains both positive and negative molecules. The negative or alkaline molecules are those which are beneficial to us. The positive or acidic molecules are of little value to the body and create unwanted free radical activity. Like the negative ions around us, it is the negatively charged molecules of OxyLife that produce such tremendous results. OxyLife features: it's stable, concentrated, alkaline and non-toxic. OxyLife benefits: gives us increased energy levels, increased respiratory efficiency. It stops infection, it strengthens the immune system, it improves blood circulation and eliminates toxins and helps to prevent tooth decay. How do we take OxyLife? For adults' well-being, the suggested dose is to take 20 drops twice daily. Put it in a dry glass and add about 250 millilitres or 8 ounces of pure water. For athletic training, the suggested dose is to put 20 or 30 drops 3 times a day into a dry glass and add 250 millilitres or 8 ounces of pure water. For children, the suggested dose: under 5 years, 1 to 3 drops into a dry glass, add 30 millilitres of pure water. For children between 5 and 10 years, 3 to 8 drops in a dry glass, adding 80 millilitres of pure water. And for 10 to 16 years old, 8 to 10 drops in a dry glass and add 120 millilitres of pure water. Over 16 years, 10 to 20 drops into a dry glass, add 240 millilitres of pure water twice daily. OxyLife can be added to most liquids. However, it's not advisable to add to boiling liquids, as this breaks the bond and destabilises the oxygen. Keep OxyLife away from prolonged exposure to direct sunlight and store it at a temperature of less than 120 Fahrenheit or 55 degrees centigrade. As OxyLife is strongly alkaline, it's not advisable to apply it directly to the skin.